This episode, I came back to Kaohsiung. Taiwanese always say the south feels different from the north. Warmer, slower, and more open. But I wanted to know what that actually meant. Was it the salt in the air? The ferries gliding across the harbor? The mountains watching from behind the city? Monkeys hidden in the trees? Or the art scattered along the waterfront? Or is it something even harder to explain? So come with me on my 2-day trip through Kaohsiung. I started at SKM Park, part outlet mall, part amusement park. Carousels turned beside storefronts. A Ferris wheel rose over parking lots. Street performers stopped people who weren't planning to stop. No one seemed embarrassed to enjoy themselves. Maybe that was the first difference I noticed. In some cities, leisures felt scheduled. Here, they are allowed. Alright guys, we just finished SKM outlet over there. I was actually riding the U-bike around and I got yelled at for riding the U-bike. Apparently you're not supposed to ride them in the outlet and there are strict rules for it. But yeah, it's a pretty cool place to take kids around. That outlet, that mall has a lot of things inside. Uniqlo. Then I crossed to Cijin District, the long narrow island locals once knew as Qihou. I got there by bus and the city slowed into sea air and scooter lanes. Painted walls brightened old streets. Even the ferry wore Doraemon. People tossed coins for luck and no one seemed too grown up for it. Nothing here felt over-designed. It felt lived in. Here, charm was allowed to be enough. Hey guys, so now we're at the Cijin District. It is by the pier. The city is very vibrant. As you can see, all the buildings are very colorful. And now we're heading to, I think there's a big canyon up the hill. And yeah, a lot of night market around. So let's see what they have over there. So right now we're gonna go on a short hike to see the canyon and the lighthouse. Should be relatively easy. Took a small shortcut over there. Not that many people and right by the ocean. This is the national monument of Qihou. I think this is where we have a fort here and cannons. It's a historical monument. This fort once guarded the entrance to Kaohsiung Harbor, with early fortifications dating back to the Qing Dynasty. After the port opened in foreign trade, this area became even more strategic. Walking through the preserved rooms, the old walls, and the lookout points. You can feel how much of Kaohsiung's identity came from the sea. Not beaches, not vacation ocean, but rather a guarded ocean. The kind of water that brought ships, danger, money, and change. From up here, the view makes sense. The harbor, the island, and the city behind it. Everything connected by water. This is a view on top of the Qihou monument, and you can see the entire city in the back. It's very vibrant, very colorful. Yeah, it's a very short hike from down below, and we have the ocean in the back. Yeah, as you can see, you really gotta watch out for where you're going and watch your steps. There's no protections anywhere, so if you fall, it'll be a very bad injury. So, yeah, make sure you watch out. Later, I stayed until sunset. The sky slowly emptied itself of color. People didn't rush away, they just stood there, watching the city fade into silhouettes. So yeah, the sun is slowly setting and we're going through the Qihou mountain trail. I want to see if we can get to the lighthouse. So according to Google Maps, they close at 9, but it's pitch dark, so hopefully they're still open. Or maybe it's just the trail that's dark. And then it happened. A single beam cut through the dark and began turning over the water. Suddenly, the whole harbor felt steadier. Maybe that's what I was starting to notice about the south. We made it to the lighthouse and
Well, here we're supposed to see a panoramic view of the island. This lighthouse was built in the late 1800s during the Qing Dynasty. Went through a couple renovations. It has a fantastic view. You can see the entire harbor, all the constructions, all the buildings in the back.
The museum had a map of every lighthouse in Taiwan. I stared at it longer than I expected. So many quiet places built just to help people find their way. Kaohsiung was starting to make more sense to me.
So now we're at the O Street. They blocked off the whole street. It's almost like a night market here. See a lot of stores, a lot of food, a lot of guava, sausages, fried food, even Turkish ice cream. Yeah, a lot of local foods. It's almost like a night market, and even some games around. Hey, I had a 2-hour-long meal for lunch, so I'm probably not gonna get anything at the moment. We're back at the Cijin O Street, and I see a lot of seafood around. There's a lot of fresh seafood. You can see since we're at the port, there's all temples around, and people wish for good health. Well, I came to the snaku place before. I think I got the tomato thing before, some tomato flavor. I ended up getting jelly. I'm not really too sure what that is. I think it's some orange jelly in there. Yeah, a lot of things I really don't know what they are, but they still taste good though. And they're super cheap in Taiwan. I think it only comes down to $2. Yeah, don't really need to bring my water bottle anywhere. Just go anywhere and just buy some drinks. A lot of places do only take cash, so you do need to bring cash here. They don't take Amex or they don't take Visa. So yeah, cash is king here.
Then I took the ferry across. That's one of the most convenient things about Kaohsiung. In many cities, getting across from old neighborhoods to a creative district means buses, transfers, and long loops around the map. Here, you just step onto a boat.
We just ordered the boat and we're heading from Cijin all the way to Warehouse 2, Pier-2. I think the first floor has a bunch of mopeds. And then the second floor is where we have people without mopeds.
A few minutes on the water, harbor wind in your face, engines humming underneath, and the city rearranges itself. You leave behind the old streets and arrive somewhere more playful. Then came the Pier-2 Art Center.
That was a quick ride, but unfortunately we did not land at the Pier-2 warehouse. Instead we landed at Shoushan Ferry Pier. But that's fine, we can still walk around. Actually, I see a lot of U-bikes here. Contemplating whether or not I should use it. Here am I using the U-bike. It's hard to find where to park my U-bike every time I use it. I think they should be around everywhere near the MRT or the bus station. So hopefully we're good. I think now we just arrived Pier-2. It's a very artsy place. Earlier we saw this huge transformer over there. That's the signature building over there for Pier-2. Ahead of us, there's a big bridge that's gonna rotate every hour or so. So maybe we'll see that later.
You can still feel the harbor bones here. Steel, concrete, containers, old industrial shapes. But instead of tearing everything down, Kaohsiung found another use for them. Shipping containers became art, empty spaces became exhibitions, walls became color.
Behind me is a landmark of Boar. I think it's called the Great Harbor Bridge. Let's go on there.
Every hour, the bells play through the district, turning the whole place into something between a plaza and a stage.
Just past 8 p.m. and suddenly I was sitting here and it started playing some music for us. Yeah, this is actually very long. It's been like 2 minutes already. I just passed by this bug cat market. Not too sure what that is. Let me know in the comments if you know what that is. Apparently it's like a pop-up shop that opens once in a while. Saw another pop-up store over here. This is a Nippy pop-up store. There's a couple other ones, Brunch Brother and Moomin. Let's go check out what they have.
There was a One Punch Man pop-up on the other side, a bright seesaw on the other, and the street food in my hand somewhere in between. Popcorn chicken, sweet potato balls, the kind of food that makes walking slow. That's when day one started to make sense. Kaohsiung wasn't polished in one obvious way. It was layered. Industry beside play, steel beside color, routine beside imagination. And somehow it all worked. That's how I ended the first night. The next morning, Kaohsiung felt different again. Last night was harbor lights, art districts, and food in paper bags. By sunrise, it was dragons, temples, and stories other than skyline. That was becoming the pattern here. Just when I thought I understood the city, it introduced another side of itself.
Just arrived the Dragon and Tiger Pagoda. You can see the pagoda all the way in the back, across the lake. And a huge tower over here. I think we're just gonna U-bike around the lake to get there. Passing by a small pond, there's some ducks here. I think we can see the pagoda here, close to it now. I just parked my U-bike and first we arrived the Dragon Pagoda. We see this huge dragon in the back. So behind me used to be a turtle and spring pavilion. In the past, people usually release turtles in there, but due to ecological imbalance, they have removed them and relocated the turtles.
I then entered the mouth of the dragon. Then, spiral staircases curled upward beneath painted ceilings. Walls carried legends older than the roads outside. Just beyond them, scooters passed, office workers moved, tourists lined up for photos. No tension between worlds, no dramatic contrast. In Kaohsiung, mythology and routine seemed perfectly comfortable sharing the same morning.
We just went through the dragon. It's actually way longer than what I anticipated. Went through from the tongue all the way through the tail. A lot of Buddhism, a lot of arts. Pretty cool. The two pagodas we just visited are called Spring and Autumn Pagodas. It's for Guanggong from the Three Kingdom eras. So we just arrived the Dragon and Tiger Pagoda. I think we're supposed to enter through the mouth of the tiger and exit through the dragon. As you can see in the back. Yeah, the pathway is zigzag. It's a bit of walking from the entrance. Right now we're on the top of the Tiger Pagoda. We're on the 6th floor. They won't let us go further up. Not sure why, but you can see they blocked it. But still, it's a great view in the back. We can see the lake. So I think that one over there we saw earlier was the Spring and Autumn Pagodas. I think the one further away is Confucius. A lot of religion here, they worship people from the past. Somehow they can become gods. And then, yeah, they build a lot of pagodas for that. You see a lot of religious arts. I decided to climb the stairs again on the Tiger Pagoda. Earlier was the Dragon Pagoda. It's also 6 stories high. It's a bit tiring, but the breeze is nice. It's actually not too hot here. Just exited the mouth of the tiger. And yeah, the arts are just amazing. Even if you look at the bridge, there's arts on carving on there.
The North often feels like it organizes everything into categories. Old here, new there, work now, leisure later. But the South felt less interested in separation. It let life overlap. Then I went to Shoushan. Not long ago, I was still in traffic passing through shops and intersections. Now I was on the hillside with monkeys staring like I owed them something. Sharp eyes, no fear. The kind of confidence only locals have.
Very, very aggressive. And they're not afraid of us. It's right there. And there's a lot of them too. So many monkeys again over here. Look at how many there are over here. Finally arrived the Love Lookout, the Shoushan Love Lookout. It's known for the monkeys as we passed by earlier, and love architecture in the back. Love Overlook is actually part of the Martyr Shrine, and it's built by the Japanese. There's also a War and Peace Memorial next to it.
In some cities, nature is something you plan a day around, a train ride away, a weekend trip. Here, a short climb and the whole city opens below you. Harbor, tower, neighborhoods, and water. I found myself back at the Pier-2 Art Center again. Some places deserve a second conversation. This time, it was an immersive Ukiyo-e Exhibition. Floating world paintings stretched across the walls in light and motion. Old Japanese scenes made new again through projection and sound. I moved room to room collecting stamps along the way, like breadcrumbs through someone else's imagination. That's another thing I noticed here. Kaohsiung seems comfortable giving space to experiences that don't really need to be justified. No urgency, no productivity angle. Just beauty, curiosity, and time to walk slowly through it. Art asks nothing practical of you, yet somehow, you leave carrying more than you came with. I had to leave early. Business waiting the next day. Real life always knocks eventually. But those 2 or 3 days in Kaohsiung stayed with me. That final walk through Liuhe Night Market, and a street singer pouring his voice into strangers. Some cities give you attractions. Kaohsiung gave me atmosphere. And atmosphere is harder to forget. If you enjoyed coming along with me, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next city.